My dude, that tire is so flat. Put some air in that shit. So today I was watching a little bit of YouTube, and I'm sure you guys have all seen videos like it or came across other videos similar, but I watched a couple of videos of people running from the cops, like the cops on motorcycles. The cops came on them, attempted to pull them over, and they said fuck it and either took off or turned some corners and tried to evade the police. So I want to talk about that a little bit today. Tons of people who have motorcycles, they always talk about, oh, motorcycles are awesome, you can run from the cops, you'll never get a ticket. And for some people that's true. Like the guy I bought my bike from, we were talking and I was like, oh, do you have your license? And he's like, no. I was like, oh, you got your permit then? He's like, no, I don't have that either. He's like, fuck it, man, if the cops ever try to pull me over, I'm just running. I was like, what? I was like, that's probably not the best idea, and you're probably not the smartest. Actually, I can promise you he was not the smartest. Here's my take on it. Now, my opinion doesn't matter, but I thought I'd give it anyway. When a police pulls behind you, I don't know about you guys, but I will always be pulling over. I respect the police force, I respect police, I respect firemen, I respect all that type of stuff. So personally, I'll never be running from the cops. That's just my opinion. There's too much at risk. If a cop's pulling up behind you and he attempts to pull you over and you run, I think that's just a dumb idea. Mostly because cops have so many resources. They're the police for a reason, and the police will find you before you can evade them. I promise you. Don't get me wrong, there'll be cases where you can get away in certain situations, but for 90% of it, the cops will get you. Even if that cop who's pulling you over doesn't get you, a cop will get you. There are cops everywhere, way more places than you could think. And because of that, there will always be a cop getting you. There's cops everywhere, whether they're on the ground, whether they're in the air, whether they're over radio. There's that saying, and it's like, oh, radio can travel faster than cars or whatever, or some shit like that. And it's true. Even if that cop who initially gets behind you doesn't pull you over, all they have to do is radio into another cop a little farther down the road and they'll pull you over. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I just turned from the right-hand lane, I'm sorry! People are always like, oh, my bike's too fast, they'll never catch me. And even if that may be true, cop cars are way more powerful than you think. And say it does get bad and it's a really intense car chase and you think you're winning, all they have to do is, again, hit that radio and radio to a helicopter to get in the air, and I promise you, no matter what bike you're on, you could be a Busa bro, you could be on a Ninja H2, you could be on whatever the fuck you want to be on, you are not going to outrun a helicopter. You could have a bottle of nitrous shoved in your dick and you will still not outrun a helicopter. I don't care what you say. Now, I'm not saying they're going to dispatch a helicopter just to get a speeder, but if the cop chase becomes intense enough, I promise you they'll consider it, and they might even do it. And this isn't even talking about the legal trouble you're getting. So say you go to outrun the cop, you're like, oh, I can do it. You think you can outrun the cop, and then for some reason maybe you crash, or the cop does pull you over and he catches up to you, or another cop catches you. What do you think is going to happen then? You're going to get in a shitload of trouble. Now, actually, you might not get in too much trouble. I think the law in Alabama, at least, is if you do evade the police and try to outrun the cops by motorized vehicle and get caught, I believe it's an A and B class misdemeanor unless you crash into somebody or cause harm or death or kill somebody or anything of that nature. Then it's a class C felony, I'm pretty sure. And I don't think any of you guys want felonies on your records just because you didn't want a $150 speeding ticket with 2 points on your license. Which, don't get me wrong, points suck, because hell, I would know. Oh, you eat that banana, baby. And before you guys make fun of me for having mom gloves on, I couldn't find my other gloves, so I'm sorry. Plus it's a little cold out, so I thought, these mom gloves will work better anyway. Tell me, come on, tell me these do not look like gloves that a mother would wear. A 50-year-old mother going to get a Christmas tree. Some North Face winter gloves or some shit. Absolute mom gloves. It's okay, I embrace my feminine side, I promise. I think I rock the mom gloves pretty well. Only real men wear mom gloves! But back to the cop story. Plus, if you do have that charge on your record of trying to evade the police, that just doesn't look good for future encounters with law enforcement. You know, they see that and they immediately see that you have had issues with being pulled over before and stuff like that. So, personally, Personally, I think it's just overall a bad thing to do. Pull over. If you're nice to the cop too, he might even let you off. So in the long run, you're better off pulling over, taking the ticket, and just not running. It's pretty much as simple as that. I have a friend who, okay, well, this situation's a little different. I have a friend, well, kind of a friend. I don't know. I don't really have friends. But I have a person that I know of that I used to be close friends with. And he actually, it was this past summer, he was with a couple friends and they were smoking, and I think they had a decent amount of weed on them. Like they had like an ounce of weed or something like that. Something a lot. I think they were speeding, they were going like 64 and a 30, some decent speed over the speed limit. So a cop pulls behind him and attempts to pull him over. Well, the kid in the passenger seat persuaded my friend to run from the cops, because if they got pulled over, they'd be charged with the DUI plus whatever, they had drugs on them. So possession, I don't know if it was a minor possession or what they'd consider that, but they'd be charged with the possession of an illegal substance. So his friend convinced him to run. Well, that was probably the dumbest thing they could have done. So they end up running, and it turns into like a police chase. Like apparently they were going through neighborhoods and like people were out on their front lawn watching the police chase happen. So the police chase is going on, and he comes to take this, I think it was a right-hand turn that turned into a left, or maybe it was just a left-hand turn. Anyway, he comes to take this turn at a quick speed, and sure enough, he lost control, ran the car up onto the curb, hit a tree, a fence, and a post all at once, almost killed himself, almost killed the 3 passengers, or 2 or 3 passengers with him, and he got charged, obviously. The cop caught up to him, understandably so, and he got charged with an evading the police, and I believe he also got charged with a DUI, which makes sense. So like I said before, it'll never really work in your favor. There might be a rare case when it does, but for the most part, it'll never work in your favor. He got charged with evading the police. He got charged with a DUI. His car was totaled. He got his license suspended, obviously, because I think it was the second DUI, but he would have gotten his license suspended anyway with 1 DUI. So it's just all around not a good story. Now that also had drugs involved, and you guys are probably like, okay, well, I don't ride my motorcycle with drugs. I get it, but not many people do. Well, I'm sure there's some. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is, if you're running from cops, there's so much more risk of hitting people, hitting other things, running up on people's lawns, crashing your car into someone, or your bike in this case. Unless you're a really talented rider, in most cases, there's a high possibility of that happening. You got adrenaline pumping, you're ready to go. You're like, fuck the police, I don't want a ticket, I'm not getting a ticket today. So you got adrenaline pumping, and you're gonna take more daring turns and higher speeds than you would normally take if you weren't all juiced up on adrenaline. So it's just overall a dangerous situation to be in. This is just my opinion though. Moral of the story, you can run from the cops if you want. If you want to get to evading the cops, felony charge, whatever you want, and get that ticket and whatever penalty shoved up your ass, go for it. But me, I like my asshole tight. I don't like getting stuff shoved up it. But that's just me. But just remember, there's more ways for those cops to get you than there are for you to outrun the cops. And that's exactly how you get pulled over, is doing shit like that. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Maybe it'll help you in the future from getting into a lot more legal trouble than a speeding ticket. But have a great day, guys. I hope your holidays are going well. And we're gonna try a wheelie. Nope. We're gonna try another one. Hey! We did it! We did a wheelie! Yeah! Yes! Yes! Penis! What a way to end a video talking about getting in legal trouble with cops. Oh! Yes! I hope the camera got a good angle of that. That first wheelie experience, you're like, oh, fuck, and then you land it and it's like, oh. Yes. It was the mom gloves. The mom gloves did it for me, baby.